In this tutorial, I want to show you some of the more complex UV unwrapping techniques. Now, this object is effectively kind of like a foot, but really what it is doesn't matter. What it is a good example for us to showcase how some of the basic UV mapping techniques work. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on an Unwrap UVW modifier and hit Open UV Editor. And you'll see that it's a bit of a tangled mess right now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to remove this modifier. To start with, if you have a complex object, probably your best thing to do is going to be to put on a UVW map to begin with, just to give it a basic set of UVs. And what I'm doing here is I put a UVW map on, set it to planar. I change the alignment, so I'm viewing it from the side. I'm going to just make this 250 tab 250, so it's nice and square. I'm going to convert that to poly. What that does is I just put a basic set of UVs on it, and I baked that UV information into the vertex points. So now when I put an Unwrap UVW on, I have a basic, clean set of UVs as a good starting point. So from here, I'm going to go through, I'm going to start to UV unwrap. So I'm going to take this top polygon here and select, I'm going to hit F2 to toggle showing faces. And with this one polygon selected, I'm just going to come over here to peel and hit the quick peel button. Quick peel is going to take whatever you have and just peel it and pull it off. And now, because I peeled it, I now have these green seams. The green seams represent areas where the edges do not connect inside the Edit UV window. If I select a polygon, this polygon is still connected to this polygon in 3D space. It's not in UV space, and so when I select that polygon, its corresponding edge turns blue. If at any point I wanted to bring those two back together, I could switch to edge mode and select one of those edges and use stitch custom, and it would stitch them together. See, it brought it over, and what it did was it scaled them both to the average to get them to come together. Alright, next I want to show you how peel works. Peel is a 4-step process. First you come in and you manually define where the edges are. And so if I come through and I start selecting edges, peel you need to think of as like cylinders. Now you could also use point-to-point selection, which I come in here and you see it's going to connect. I defined a peel at the bottom. I now need to define a peel at the top. You look up here and it looks like, well, okay, there is a peel. Well, not so fast. If I come over to configure and turn off map seams, you can see there is not actually peel there. So I need to come in and peel that. And so if I just come over, there we go. So now I've defined the top and the bottom edges. Now, much like a piece of clothing has a seam that runs along it, our UVs need to have a seam. Because I could come into polygon, select a polygon, and use expand selection to seams, which will select every polygon in that area I defined. Right. The next step is to use quick peel. And if I click on that, here's what I get. The outer edges are able to peel, no problem, but in the middle, where there's no seam for it to spread out, it just gets pinched. So let's undo that. And what I'm going to do instead is I need to define a connection between these, much like I said, the sleeves on your clothing, where they have the top, the bottom, and a connection in between them. And much like clothing, we want to find an area that's not going to be seen as much. So let's put it here on the back. So I'm going to use point to point. Come in. And look, it's just defined that area. I'll right click to get out of that. And now in polygon, I'll select one polygon, expand my selection, and now when I hit quick peel, you see it unfolds. So it's define the area, select the area, peel the area, and then the final step is relax. Tools, relax. And inside here, I'm going to set it to relax by polygon angles. I'm going to just hit start relax. Now this is a relatively simple shape. You want to use peel for more simple shapes like this. I think it works really great with cylinders. If you have more complex objects, the peel is going to do the best it can. Relax is going to do the best it can to get the polygons back to their original shape. But the more complex the model, the harder these tools are going to have to work. You may have to break your model up into more smaller chunks. Now let's talk about this shape down here. So this is a more complex shape. Peel isn't going to necessarily work in just the same basic fashion. I mean, we could come in and select these polygons on the bottom and just peel them, give them a little bit of a relax. And then for the top, what would be really good is this is almost like a box in a way, if we look at the structure of it. So I might use my peel to come in here. And I'm just going to define some edges. Maybe not. I'm going to go into Seam, hold Alt, and deselect to remove. And then I'm going to define this one, these guys, because what I want to do is I want to unfold this like a box. All right. We're on the side. I'm going to select this and this area as well. And I just need to grab all those sides on the going around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select edges in this view and hold Alt and deselect the ones in the center. And this guy I haven't shown you yet is convert edge selection to seams. So if I click on that, it'll convert that over. Now if I come into Polygon and I expand my selection, now when I hit Peel, you see how it unfolds it? Basically the top stays straight and it unfolds these like flaps and it unfolds these edges as well. And I think I'm going to undo that and I'm going to actually adjust where my edges are. I think I want to keep, I'm going to try it here and see if this gives me a slightly better result. Turn this off, peel, expand, and then start relax. And there we go. So you can see now it's starting to rotate a little bit because this is a more complex object. It's not as simple. So it's still trying to do it. At this point, you just need to turn off relax. Also, take note that you can just hit apply. You can also make a smaller amount and relax. Now this back side, I still need to relax him. I could probably just hit relax. I could also hit peel if I want and relax it. Our final step is we want to pack our UVs into this space as tight as possible. So under Arrange Elements, I'm going to click Pack Custom, and that's going to pack those shapes right into there. All right, so now in order to get the best possible, we want to kind of take them so that they're not rotated at all. Try packing them again. And there we go. That's how those basic tools work. You still have projection tools. You also now can use peel.